see men pulling our escape boat to shore. They'll be expecting passengers, but all they'll find are the empty wrappers from the packaged sweets we ate from the boat owner's stash. We abandoned ship before we reached the shore, and we felt for each other in the water and held our breath and hurried away from the commotion. Our footprints emerge from the ocean like ghosts are roaming the beach. I like that. We are the ghosts of sunken countries. We were once explorers when the world was full, in a past life, and now we're back from the dead. We come to a mound of rocks that forms a natural barrier between the beach and the city, and we collapse in its shadows. From where we're huddled, we can hear men shouting commands to one another. There must have been a sensor that tripped the alarm when we got close to shore, I say. I should have known that stealing the boat had been too easy. I've set enough traps in my own home to know that people like to protect what's theirs. What happens if they catch us? Gabriel says. They don't care about us, I say. Someone paid a lot of money to make sure that boat is returned to them, I bet. My parents used to tell me stories about people who wore uniforms and kept order in the world. I barely believed those stories. How can a few uniforms possibly keep a whole world in order? Now there are only the private detectives who are employed by the wealthy to locate stolen property, and security guards who keep the wives trapped at luxurious parties, and the gatherers, of course, who patrol the streets for girls to sell. I collapse against the sand, face up. Gabriel takes my shivering hand in both of his. You're bleeding, he says. Look. I cant my head skyward. You can already see the stars coming through. He looks. The setting sun lights up his face, making his eyes brighter than I've ever seen, but he still looks worried. Growing up in the mansion has left him permanently burdened. It's okay, I tell him, and pull him down beside me. Just lie with me and look at the sky for a while. You're bleeding, he insists. His bottom lip is trembling. I'll live. He holds up my hand, enclosed in both of his. Blood is dripping down our wrists in bizarre little river lines. I must have sliced my palm on a rock as we crawl to shore. I roll up my sleeves so that the blood doesn't ruin the white cabled sweater that Deirdre knitted for me. The yarn is inlaid with diamonds and pearls, the very last of my housewife riches. Well, those and my wedding ring. A breeze rolls up from the water, and I realize at once how numb the cold air and wet clothes have made me. We should find some place to stay, but where? I sit up and take in our surroundings. There's sand and rocks for several more yards, but beyond that I can see the shadows of buildings. A lone freight truck lumbers down a faraway road, and I think soon it'll be dark enough for gatherer vans to start patrolling the area with their lights off. This would be the perfect place for them to hunt. There don't appear to be any street lights, and the alleyways between those buildings could be full of Scarlet District girls. Gabriel, of course, is more concerned about the blood. He's trying to wrap my palm with a piece of seaweed, and the salt is burning the wound. I just need a minute to take this all in, and then I'll worry about the cut. This time yesterday, I was a house governor's bride. I had sister wives. At the end of my life, my body would have ended up with the wives who died before me, on a rolling cart in my father-in-law's basement, for him to do only he knows what. But now, there's the smell of salt, sound of the ocean. There's a hermit crab making its way up a sand dune. And something else, too. My brother, Rowan, is somewhere out here, and there's nothing stopping me from getting home to him. I thought the freedom would excite me, and it does, but there's